doing Chapter 16, Lesson 12, Mortgage Yield and Cost Analysis here. And luckily, most of these questions are dealing with math. So guess what? I won't need to deal with most of these. All right, so moving right along, trying to find a non-math question. Most of these are about cost of funds advance. We've got prepayment penalties, yield to an investor. Question 173. Prepayment in a mortgage refers to, and the answer for 173, 2. Prepayment in a mortgage is 2. The right of a borrower to pay off all or some of the outstanding balance during the term of the mortgage. So prepayment in a mortgage refers to 2. The right of the borrower to pay off all or some of the outstanding balance, OSB, during the term of the mortgage. Isn't that wonderful? I think it is. And we're moving right along until we find a non-math question. And I'm betting that, oh, yes, here's another one on page 16. Question 329. As a marketing incentive to speed up the sale of newly completed but unsold condos, a developer agrees to provide the purchasers with first mortgages with a contract rate that is lower than the market rate of interest. Under these circumstances, it can be said that this is an offer involving, and 329, number 1, below market rate financing. So let me read this again. As a marketing incentive to speed up the sale of newly completed but unsold condos, the developer agrees to provide the purchasers with first mortgages with a contract rate that is lower than the market rate of interest. Under these circumstances, it can be said that this is an offer involving 1, below market rate financing. Moving right along. 344. Given that all other factors are identical, the longer the term of the mortgage on a bonused, partially amortized mortgage, where the bonus is paid by the borrower, the answer is 1. The lower the effective interest rate paid by the borrower. So the longer the term of the contract on a bonused, partially amortized mortgage, where the bonus is paid by the borrower, number 1, the lower the effective interest rate paid by the borrower. So get that. The longer the contract, the lower the effective interest rate. Awesome, huh? Now we're continuing, we're moving right along here. You're going to get you're not going to get 99% on this test. You're going to get 100%. We are going to go for the diamond status of testing here. Question 435. Given that all other factors are identical, the shorter the term of the contract on a bonused, partially amortized mortgage where the bonus is paid by the borrower, it means, and the answer is 2, the higher the effective interest rate paid by the borrower. Given all other factors identical, the shorter the term of the contract on a bonused, partially amortized mortgage where the bonus is paid by the borrower, to the higher the effective interest rate paid by the borrower. So you got a shorter term, you got a higher interest rate. You got a longer term, you got a lower interest rate. Makes all the sense in the world, I believe. Now we got a lot of yield to the investor, market value, 517. We've got a question here about something I need to study a little bit more on, which is the annual percentage rate, APR, is, number 3, the borrower's contractual interest rate plus any non-interest finance charges. So the annual percentage rate, APR, is, number 3, the borrower's contractual interest rate plus any non-interest finance charges. What do you think? Isn't that quite wunderbar? I think it is. And then we're moving right along. Market value of the offer, cost of funds advance, yield to an investor, market value, monthly payment, all this stuff. Market value, prepayment. Wow. So much. Great math. We got a question here. 884. With a portable mortgage on 884. I love portable mortgages. They're cool. The answer is 2. With a portable mortgage, a borrower can save money when the existing mortgage has a lower interest rate than current market rates. So basically, if you take your mortgage, you carry it from house A to house B. If the original mortgage on house A was lower in its interest rate, lower than the current market rates, you can actually get yourself a bargain. 898. Which of the following statements concerning the Business Practices and Consumer Protection Act, the BC CPA, is false? And the answer is number 3. A disclosure statement must be given to a borrower 6 days prior to the borrower incurring an obligation under a credit agreement, unless the time period is waived by the borrower. That's false. These other things are true. Number 1, mortgage lenders and brokers must disclose the annual percentage rate APR to the borrower. That is true according to the Business Practices and Consumer Protection Act, the BC CPA. The second thing is true. The annual percentage rate APR represents the borrower's contractual interest rate plus any non-interest finance charge. That's also true. And then number 4, in order to provide borrowers with some help in determining the actual cost of borrowing, most provincial governments in Canada have legislated that certain disclosure requirements must be met for specific types of mortgages, and that is totally true. But the false thing here for 898 is number 3. A disclosure statement must be given to the borrower 6 days prior to the borrower incurring an obligation under a credit agreement, unless the time period is waived by the borrower. And we're moving right along after we have... Okay. Oh, just wait a second. I just want to read something here. This is about question 898. It is true that lenders and brokers must disclose the annual percentage rate, APR, to the borrower. The APR represents the borrower's contractual interest rate plus any non-interest finance charges, and in order to provide borrowers with some help in determining the actual cost of borrowing, most provincial governments in Canada have legislated that certain disclosure requirements must be met for specific types of mortgages. So they gotta let you know the nominal interest rate. However, a disclosure statement must be given to a borrower 2 days prior to the borrower incurring an obligation under a credit agreement. Okay, it's 2 days. Not, as we said in the question, 6 days. No, it's 2 days prior to the borrower incurring an obligation under a credit agreement, unless the time period is waived by the borrower in accordance with Section 15 of the Disclosure of the Cost of Consumer Credit Regulations. And option 3 is a false statement. So that's false. All right, now we're moving right along, and I don't know if we have anything else left yet. And that's it. We're done. Chapter 16, Mortgage Yield on Cost Analysis, which is also Lesson 12. Finito. Study well, my friend.